Humans are the newest and weakest species in the Galactic Union. They are watched, tested, and quietly mocked. The main human, Ethan, is calm, silent, and always observing. An arrogant alien officer, Commander Zedrathia, keeps poking Ethan with her clawed finger. She does it in public. She does it to shame him. Other aliens laugh. Humans are told never to react. Zedrathia believes humans are soft. She pokes him again. And again. The narrator hints that humans come from a world where pain meant survival. Ethan remembers Earth, wars, predators, hunger. The audience feels something is coming. But it does not come yet. Zedrathia explains alien dominance rules. Poking is a sign of ownership. No species has ever resisted her. Humans are ranked last in strength charts. Ethan's heartbeat rises, but his face stays calm. The station AI watches silently. The aliens think the human is broken. Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The Galactic Union space station was larger than any city humanity had ever built. It floated in deep space like a cold metal god, covered in lights, shields, and moving towers. Thousands of alien species walked its halls every day. Some had wings, some had scales, some had too many eyes. And among them all, humans were the smallest, the weakest, the newest. Ethan Cole walked through the main corridor with his hands behind his back. His posture was straight, his face showed no fear, but inside his heart was beating fast. Every human on the station felt the same way. They did not belong here, not yet. Humans had only joined the Galactic Union 2 years ago. Earth had barely reached faster-than-light travel when alien ships appeared in orbit. There was no war, no invasion. Just judgment. The aliens had scanned Earth, watched its history, and decided humans were useful, but not dangerous. That was the problem. On the station, humans were ranked last in strength, last in status, last in respect. They were given small rooms, weak jobs, and constant supervision. They were told to obey. And most of all, they were told to stay calm. Remember, the human supervisors always said, do not react, no matter what they do. Ethan remembered those words well. Because someone was poking him again. A sharp claw pressed into the side of his arm, not hard enough to break skin, just enough to hurt. Ethan did not move. Commander Zedrathia clicked her mandibles in amusement. She was tall, almost 7 feet, with blue-black skin and glowing yellow eyes. Her armor shined with rank markings. She poked him again. Still standing, she said in her sharp alien accent, interesting. The other aliens around them laughed. Zedrathia was known across the station. She was a high-ranking officer in charge of species evaluation. That meant testing weaker races. And she enjoyed it. Humans were her favorite. She walked around Ethan in a slow circle. Her claw tapped his shoulder, then his chest. Poke, poke, poke. Do humans feel pain? She asked loudly. Yes, Ethan said calmly, his voice was steady. Then why do you not react? Ethan did not answer. The corridor was filled with watchers now. Tall insectoid guards, floating scholars, heavy reptilian soldiers. They all waited. Zedrathia leaned closer. Is your species broken? She poked the same spot again. Ethan's jaw tightened for just a second. He remembered Earth. He remembered forests where animals hunted silently. He remembered street fights, war footage, screams, and blood. He remembered learning as a child that showing pain only made things worse. On Earth, pain was information. Zedrathia poked him again. The station AI recorded everything, every heartbeat, every breath. The AI flagged Ethan's stress levels as rising. But still he did not move. Zedrathia straightened and addressed the crowd. Observe, she said. This is a human, no claws, no armor, no venom, no strength. She pressed a claw under his chin and lifted his face. Ethan allowed it. The aliens laughed again. In the Union, Zedrathia continued, dominance must be clear. Weak species must learn their place. She removed her claw and poked him one more time. This time a little harder. Ethan exhaled slowly through his nose. The narrator would have told the audience something important at this moment. Humans were not calm because they were weak. They were calm because they were trained. Zedrathia walked away, clearly bored. For now, she said, escort the human back to his sector. 2 guards stepped forward. Ethan followed them silently. The corridor lights dimmed as they moved deeper into the station. The sounds of alien voices faded. One of the guards looked down at Ethan. "You should be grateful," the guard said. "She only poked you." Ethan said nothing. Later that cycle in the human living sector, the humans gathered quietly. They spoke in low voices. "She keeps doing it," one human said, "every day. They think it's funny. They think we won't fight back." Ethan sat on his bed, staring at his hands. A woman across from him shook her head. "We can't react, you know the rules." "I know," Ethan replied. But his voice sounded distant. The next day, the inspection came again. This time it was public. The grand hall was filled with representatives from dozens of species. Flags floated in the air. Holograms displayed rankings and data. Humans stood at the bottom. Commander Zedrathia entered to loud applause. She stopped in front of the human group. Her eyes locked onto Ethan. "Ah," she said, "my favorite subject." The human stiffened. Zedrathia stepped closer. "Today we test endurance." She raised her claw. "Poke." Ethan felt the pressure on his chest. "Poke." The crowd watched closely. "Poke." Some aliens leaned forward in interest. Zedrathia smiled, still nothing. She moved closer, lowering her voice. "You know," she said, "on my world, biting is a sign of submission. Only animals do it when afraid." She poked him again. This time, her claw pressed into an old scar near his ribs. A scar from Earth. From a time when Ethan had nearly died. Pain exploded through his body. His breathing changed. The station AI issued a silent alert. Stress levels critical. Zedrathia laughed softly. "There it is, pain." She poked the scar again. Something inside Ethan snapped. It was not anger. It was instinct. His hand shot out. Gasps echoed through the hall. Ethan grabbed her wrist. Zedrathia froze, shocked. "No," she began. Ethan leaned forward and bit her hand. Hard. Alien blood splashed onto the floor. Zedrathia screamed. The hall erupted into chaos. Guards raised weapons, alarms blared, the crowd scattered. Ethan released her and stepped back. Zedrathia clutched her bleeding hand, eyes wide with fear and rage. The station AI repeated one phrase across all channels. "Dominance violation detected." Humans stared in disbelief. Aliens stared in terror. Ethan stood still, blood on his lips, breathing slow. The narrator ended the story with a quiet truth. They thought the human had lost control. But on Earth, biting was not weakness. It was a warning. Silence fell over the grand hall. Not the calm silence of peace, but the heavy silence that comes right before something breaks. Commander Zedrathia screamed again as she stumbled backward, clutching her wounded hand. Thick blue blood dripped between her fingers and splashed onto the polished floor. Guards rushed forward, weapons raised. "Stand down," someone shouted in 3 different languages. Ethan did not move. He stood where he was, shoulders square, feet planted firmly on the ground. His mouth tasted like metal and something bitter. He slowly wiped his lips with the back of his hand. The humans behind him were frozen. They had never seen one of their own do something like that here. Zedrathia's eyes locked onto Ethan. They were wide, full of pain and something else. "Fear. You," she hissed, "you attacked a superior officer." Ethan looked at her calmly. His voice was low but clear. "You touched me," he said. The words were simple. They echoed through the hall. The station AI flickered above them, projecting red symbols in the air. Alert, dominance challenge confirmed. The crowd murmured. Many alien species shifted uncomfortably. Some stepped back, others leaned forward curious. A tall reptilian counselor spoke. Explain, humans do not challenge dominance. The AI responded before Ethan could. Correction, human subject initiated dominance assertion via physical biting. Gasp spread across the hall. Zedrathia's face drained of color, her mandibles trembled. That is not possible, she said. Biting is a claim of control, only high predators. She stopped. Because she understood. Her species' law was clear. The one who bites during a dominance dispute is declaring superiority. And the one who is bitten is lower. The realization hit her like a blow. No, she whispered, this is a misunderstanding. Ethan took a step forward. Every guard tensed. The humans behind him held their breath. I was told not to react, Ethan said. I followed the rules. He looked around the hall, meeting alien eyes one by one. But where I come from, he continued, touching someone again and again is a challenge. The AI recorded his words. Zedrathia backed away another step. This human is dangerous, she shouted. Restrain him. The guards hesitated. Their weapons stayed raised, but no one fired. The AI paused. Then it spoke again. According to Union Law Section 88, a successful dominance act transfers temporary authority to the challenger. The hall exploded into noise. That law is ancient. It applies only to predator species. Humans are not predators. The AI's lights shifted to white. Updating classification. A hologram appeared showing Earth. Forests, oceans, cities, battlefields. Clips of human history played, hunting animals larger than themselves, fighting wars, surviving disasters. The AI continued. Humans lack natural weapons, compensated through intelligence, cooperation, and controlled aggression. The ranking chart changed. Human threat level shifted from minimal to uncertain. Zedrathia screamed in frustration, "Stop this." She pointed at Ethan. "He is still mine," he bit in fear. Ethan shook his head. "I bit because you would not stop." His voice never rose. That frightened them more than shouting ever could. A human woman stepped forward from the crowd, Ambassador Reyes. She bowed slightly to the council. "Humans were told to stay calm," she said. "We did." She looked directly at Zedrathia. But calm is not the same as harmless. Zedrathia clutched her bleeding hand tighter. Medics rushed toward her, but stopped when the AI issued another warning. Medical assistance delayed, dominance resolution pending. Zedrathia froze. Her species understood what that meant. Until the challenge was resolved, she was considered lower status. She was not allowed to command. Not allowed to threaten. Not allowed to strike back. Her voice cracked. "This is madness." Ethan spoke again. "I don't want your position," he said. "I want respect." The hall went silent again. Respect was not something humans were known to ask for. The council began to argue among themselves. Some demanded Ethan's arrest. Others warned that punishing him might trigger a human response. "What response?" someone asked. The AI answered calmly. "Unknowns." That single word made many aliens uneasy. The council finally raised a claw for silence. "The human challenge stands," the councillor said. Commander Zedrathia provoked physical contact repeatedly. Zedrathia stared in disbelief. "She poked him," another councillor added. "That is a recognized act of dominance." The councillor turned to Ethan. "Human," he said, "do you claim dominance over Commander Zedrathia?" Every eye in the hall was on him. Ethan thought of Earth. Of rules learned the hard way. "I claim my space," he said, "nothing more." The AI processed his answer. Claim accepted, limited dominance confirmed. A symbol appeared above Ethan's head. Zedrathia's knees buckled. She was now, by law, beneath a human. Guards finally lowered their weapons. Medics rushed forward and treated Zedrathia's wound. She did not resist. She did not look at Ethan. The humans whispered among themselves. Something had changed. Not just in the hall, but in the galaxy. Later that cycle, Ethan sat alone in a quiet observation room. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the glass. Ambassador Reyes entered. "You just rewrote how they see us," she said softly. Ethan sighed. "I didn't plan to." She smiled sadly. "That's what scares them." Outside the room, aliens watched from a distance. They no longer laughed. They did not poke. They kept their hands to themselves. News spread fast across the station. Across fleets. Across worlds. A human had bitten a commander. And the galaxy had blinked first. Zedrathia stood in the medical wing, staring at her bandaged hand. Her pride hurt more than her flesh. She finally understood. Humans were not weak because they were gentle. They were gentle because they chose to be. The next day, the Union updated its laws. Humans were reclassified. Not as prey. Not as pets. But as contained predators. The narrator ended the story with a quiet truth. The galaxy had learned something simple and terrifying. Humans do not seek dominance. But when pushed, they will take it. End.